The clip says AOC is back in the kitchen. That probably doesn't mean anything like what you think it means, but that's just how it's labeled here in my docket. So let's find out what exactly that means right now.
Goals in the United States.
Uh-oh. Here she goes again.
Be under the thumb of a $7 minimum wage and, racist systems because, I don't know, because that just benefits whoever the people are in power to already be in power. So, shout out to my radicals who think that maybe one way that we can deal with a lot of the shortfall that we have is to do things like legalize marijuana and tax the commerce on that so that we can fund our schools. Or I don't know.
Hold up. Let's charge more for weed and pay for schools. That's where we got to get the money from. That's what she's saying. That was her bold plan. And then, of course, as you can see, she's taxing the rich. I'm not going to go over this again with folks. People pay taxes, okay? People pay taxes in a lot of different ways. And there's only so many rich people out there. And I don't know what their books be looking like, but the same IRS that's auditing my shit is auditing their shit. So if they're doing something wrong, allow the people whose job it is to check on that to actually check on that. Because I can't even speak on it. I don't know what the hell they writing down. I don't know how they deal with their deductions or if they have plenty of business expenses and all this kind of stuff that I know you can write off. I don't have time to be worrying about taxing the rich. But what I will say is increasing the price of weed to pay for schools is a bad idea. You know why? Because they already have legalized weed and it ain't really paying for the schools now. And it's a couple $1 billion a year industry in multiple states, over half of the U.S. So miss me with the whole let's make weed expensive and fund the schools. They did that same shit in Maryland where they were talking about, let's put a casino here and fund the school. Ain't none of that casino money going to the schools. So you can miss us with that, but AOC's basically trying to say, from what I can see, is that what she thinks are common sense ideas, people are calling radical. And I'll be honest with you, the tax the rich thing, I don't get. The tax code is the tax code. Go change the tax code. Just like Trump said to Hillary Clinton so many years ago, about if you want something to be different, go change the tax code. Well, guess what, AOC? You're in a position to do so. So go do that. And I will have a glass of this lemonade you're making, by the way. Okay? But yeah, go do that. And that's fine. If I know a couple people that make some good money, and I've seen some of their tax returns. And they got to put all types of shit down there that broke people don't know about in order to try to break even and not owe way more than your ass is getting back in your little tax return where you're using to buy a TV. Okay? So let's stop the whole tax the rich thing because that's stupid. They are taxed. When they buy something, you think they don't pay taxes on that in the state that they're shopping in? And when they buy expensive things at a 9-10% tax, they're getting their tax money in there by being consumers. So I don't have time to be tracking them down, man. Anybody got time for that shit? But I'll give her last 20 seconds. Hold on.
Tax the rich. Maybe we can tax the rich so that people who have helipads on their house or near their house can help chip in for black school districts that are perpetually underfunded.
Oh, virtue signaling. You went right for the black school districts. Come on, man. So the people that have helipads, that's what she said, the super rich should chip in, is how she worded it. She sounds goofy in this video to me. Now, a lot of people don't like AOC. I always give her a pass because I think she's pretty, and I'm glad that she went from being a waitress to being in Congress. So that in and of itself is worth some level of, all right, good going, girl. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes she gets on the internet and she'll say something, and I'm looking for the point. I'm like, okay, let me see what she's talking about before I say anything. And it just sounds like the only idea she had was increase the price of weed, make it legal first for everybody, and then price gouge the pot smokers and the ones that use the THC and marijuana products for medical purposes, as Mike G's so eloquently put in the chat. If THC and marijuana is a medicine, so you're telling people to increase the cost of a specific medicine to fund inner city school. I have so many issues with that. There's no other. What about alcohol? There's plenty of that being taxed and touched every day by the federal government. Why that money don't go to making the schools better? I don't get it. Let's mess with a new market for people that might have just gotten into business, farmers that might have just started growing something, and now let's create a new black market for it by raising the price of the legalized products. And then, of course, that would increase the police presence for people that have illegal products. Then we go back to people going to jail, and they'll be like, well, they can't go to jail because it's legal. It'll be a whole bunch of gray area, and it's a situation here. You know what I'm saying? It's a situation. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the caption that says, is there a dumber woman on the planet Earth than AOC? I'm sure there are people that have less going on up top. I just think that a lot of times she comes on, and she just says something that doesn't really make sense. Jay Coleman in the chat, I hear you over here, bro. He said he can't hear it with the lemons and the cutting board. She's practicing to go back to bartending, yo. I gotta give you You got that. She's in the Senate, I believe. She's the Congress and the Senate, all that. Like I said, I'm still working on reminding myself of all of these things. But isn't there some level of like a retirement pension that all these people get when they stop working there? So she probably gonna be all right. She's just mad she doesn't have a helipad on her house. That's all she said. But people that have helipads, well, there's a lot of people that are rich that don't have helipads for whatever reason. So whose house did she go to that had a helipad? And she was like, this is too damn much. Somebody in New York. Whose house was she at? Anyway, we can let AOC do her little thing over there. So she said her piece. Y'all can tell me how you feel about it in the chat. Do you believe that the solution to the national debt and education problems or deficits is to tax the rich and increase or legalize marijuana first, and then jack the price up on the taxing and then use that to fix the problem? You know, it doesn't sound very intellectual when I say it out loud like that.